Hello, Tracy here. How to recognize the character of people in terms of the staying nature of people, in terms of the foundational decisions that they will make at critical moments towards you. How do you know this? Three ways. One, when you have a lot of money or more resources than them, it doesn't mean that you're rich, but you have more resources relative to them. Do they use you? Do they see you just as a source, just as a feeding tree or a feeding trough? Because the moment that those resources are finished, you will see the aggression. Either they will push you to go and find more to feed them, or you will see that they really didn't care about you. What they care about was the gift. What was it? Whatever it is that you had to give, the resources, and they didn't care about you. So how is it that people treat you when you have a lot relative to them? The second thing is how people treat you when you have little or nothing. Do they hand you a glass of water? Do they still check in to show that they value your presence irrespective of you not having anything to give? Whether it's just being a connection or being a person of, who can help them out, whether through a word or what you symbolize or what you have to give materially. Do they ask how you're doing? Did you pick up back the business? Did you find a job? How are you eating? How are you drinking? How are you surviving? Do they ask these things? Not that you're looking for them to give you anything, but the concern. It speaks volumes. By their fruit you shall know them. Right? So that's one and two. How to know people. Also, when you make a mistake, do they correct you? Or do they play the hypocrite? Because a real friend is somebody, and a friend, or it could be a friend, could be family. When I say friend, I don't necessarily mean just like a girlfriend or a guy who you talk to socially. I mean somebody who has the characteristics of being with you and for you. So whether it is a mentor, a colleague, a family member, a relative, or friend, how does this person regard you in that sense? Do they correct you in the first place, or do they laugh kiki keen? If your jacket is dirty, are they going to tell you? If it's a stranger, you really don't owe the stranger anything. You don't have to tell them that the jacket is dirty. But if you're going out and this is a very good friend, the person ought to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, your jacket is dirty. Or do they laugh at you behind your back? Because they want to see you fall. They want to see you fumble. They want to see you disgraced. Or if you make a mistake, I'm not talking about committing a crime. When you make a mistake, do they correct you, and do they correct you in private? A friend is somebody who can also pull you aside, not to grandstand and to embarrass you in front of the whole audience. But where you genuinely made a mistake, do they pull you aside and correct you? Do they go and tell the world? I'm not talking about your enemy. Your enemy is not your friend. You owe them nothing. You owe this person absolutely nothing. I'm talking about somebody who you have a close relationship and contact with. Do they correct you in private? Or at least say something to you in private? And as a correct you, not to reprimand, because you can't reprimand people. People are adults. So you say, they thought of it this way, or blah, blah, blah. If the person goes to announce your mistake to 20 people, that's not your friend. What they're doing is trying to scandalize you. That's not your friend. So one, when you have more compared to them, do they use you? Do they use you? Because let's say you have 12 apples, a dozen apples, and people are coming to take from you, take from you, take from you, take from you. And they're not even thinking about, oh, I just saw people take 5 apples. You only have 7 left. Oh, let me just leave you alone because I have 2 at home. No. They're not thinking about what they have at home or how they can get an apple tree for themselves. No. They're thinking about, oh, you have, I must take from you. That is the mentality of some people. Right? So maybe they even have 10 apples at home, but they say, oh, I can take from you, because they're not thinking about your resources and your situation. But a real friend will say, be careful how you're giving away so many apples, because, think about yourself. Put aside some and don't disclose all your apples to people. Just put some aside. They don't need to know that you have 12 apples. Right? So put out 3 and that's it. And you may say, oh no, but what about yourself? Or does somebody stole an apple from you? Blah, blah, blah. Or they may even say to the people around, you can't be taking our apples like that. You can't be taking them. You know, you must have some conscience. And the person may say, but I'm just fulfilling my need. The person says, no, 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 no. Oh, so you don't have any conscience whatsoever towards the person that you're asking. You only care about yourself. So you're a selfish person aimed at fulfilling your needs at the expense of somebody else. And you decide that you have absolutely no conscience whatsoever. I see. Listen to what these people say and how they speak. When they say things like that, oh, I'm just fulfilling my needs. Listen to what people say. It tells you a lot about them. What they're saying is that they're selfishly, carelessly respecting their needs and will spend your resources to satisfy themselves, and they don't give a damn about you. So they're not looking to use their resources to satisfy their needs. They're telling you that they want your resources, however you got them, to satisfy their needs. So you must be a servant unto them. And they don't care. All their goal is to satisfy their needs. Listen to what people say. They tell you exactly who they are. So that's how you watch for people. Do they use you? You know, concerning your resources when you have more. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be even simple things, advice, information. Are you just a source? And when you lose it, you realize that they were just attracted to what you had to give. Secondly, is when you have a little. Do they check in? How are you? You know, how's the business going? Did you pick up back? Did you find a job? How are you eating? Are you surviving? Are you okay? Do they still check upon you? Even once in a while. Yeah, the next thing is, do they correct you? And do they correct you in private? Or do they scandalize you? You will learn a lot about people. It doesn't lie. Don't look past the evidence of who people are. When they show you the display of who they are, it speaks volumes. They're writing a letter to you based on how they react and their response to you. They're literally writing a memo and telling you exactly who you are and what your place is in their life and their intentions towards you based on their actions. So those things that you look at concerning people. You will find that some people didn't even like you. It's just that they weren't in a position to step on you. And the moment something happens, also look at when calamity happens to you. Whether it's a loss of a business, a loss of a job, a divorce, or a breakup in a relationship, loss of money. Do they rejoice? Are they secretly smiling that you have suffered this loss? It tells you that this is not a friend. This is not a relative. This is not somebody who's in your favor. This is a person who wants to see you suffer. Right? It tells you a lot about people. And people write memos to us every day. They write postals to us every day based on how they treat us. And it is for us to read those memos, read their actions, read their words, and not to dismiss them. There are good people in the world, and there are people who make mistakes, right? Strong people. Because in this world, the truth is, try to be a good person. Because to try to be a good person, it takes a lot of strength. Because it is so much easier to do the opposite. It takes far more strength to try to do the right thing by your friend, by this person, by yourself. It's so much easier, right, to take the easy path. And so it's a difficult thing because of the way the world is set up. So might be mindful of people and read the memos that they're writing to you in their actions. Don't overlook it and say, oh, you're just being sensitive, and oh, if you act like this, you won't have any friends. It's better to have 2 friends or 1 rather than 10 who sabotage you. Because sometimes the loss that they create and the damage that they create to you, to your reputation, to your sense of peace and well-being is far greater than their presence or having a lot of friends. So it's better to choose quality people